Welcome back, everyone. If you've found yourself with piles of random cubes, cuts, and shreds from previous soap batches, well, there's a thing you can do with them, as I'm going to do in the video today. I had so many different cube cutouts that I'd like to incorporate into a batch of gardener's scrub soap that I made with pumice powder. If you're not familiar with pumice powder, it's basically finely ground volcanic ash that's great as an exfoliator and therefore perfect for soil-crusted gardening hands or paint-splashed hands if you're a creative. I've gone ahead and made a simple recipe of coconut oil, canola oil, and a little palm kernel oil for extra hardening, and added about 1 ounce of pumice powder to the whole thing. To make it all come together in a fresh and clean unisex way, I used pink grapefruit as the fragrance. I'll speed this up just a little bit so you don't have to watch me mix this, because I'm sure if you've seen my videos before, you know how this goes. This isn't my usual recipe. I did not have cocoa butter in this at all. But anyway, after I added the lye, I mixed it a little bit, put the pumice powder in there. The pink grapefruit fragrance does tend to slow down trace, so I was prepared for that. And once I got it to this light trace, I added this big old boatload, I didn't even measure it, of embeds. One thing you want to be sure of is that your embeds are light enough and that your batter is thick enough to suspend them in the whole mixture. So when pouring this recipe, I thought I'd use a bigger mold since I had so many of those cube embeds that I initially poured it into a larger mold. Well, that mold didn't seem to flex out enough and it was giving me this hourglass shape and it didn't look right, so I had to pour it into a smaller mold. But when pouring, a little drop of it plunked out and made a direct beeline for my eyeball. And of course, the one time out of 100 that I chose not to wear goggles during the pour, I felt that wrath of God. But once I was done flushing out that weak, squishy eye, I came back to pour the batter into a more suitable mold and let it simmer like my rage in the makeshift warmer. Now, it didn't take very long for this to harden, and I believe that's due to the combination of embeds, pumice, and the recipe itself, so I was able to cut this one on the same day. And while you're cutting something like this that has pumice powder in it, it may feel a little crumbly, but fear not. It's just the exfoliation feel of the pumice and nothing more. And as you can see, everything is holding together nicely, and there's a nice little motley of embeds in there that look pretty cool, and I really like the way this turned out. And truth be told, I do have a little sample of this in my own soap dish, and I love the way this feels, and it's very cleansing and it's not overly drying, but you can feel the exfoliation beauty of the pumice powder inside. Okay, we're going to speed this up a bit until we get the final product laid out and stacked, and there you have it. This is what it looks like after it's all cut and trimmed up on the edges and everything, and it looks all nice and fancy. I did end up doing a little oil swirl on top. I didn't mention that earlier, but I did. And here is the recipe for everything. And yeah, if you want to try this for yourself, pumice powder is relatively inexpensive and it's great as that exfoliator, and I love this soap. So I was inspired to make this after somebody visited my booth at the craft fair and said she does love these exfoliating soaps for her gardening. So that's that. It is listed on my website now, but unfortunately my website is not live yet. So when it does become live, I'll let you know. And that's it for today. And I thank you for sticking through this to the end, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.